check out how we caught Patrick red-handed at a Brampton hockey rink in 2020. This tale never gets old. Here's the backstory. Brown had closed all the playgrounds and baseball diamonds and soccer pitches to the children of Brampton. He hired Paladin Security to spy on these facilities, and if they saw violators, the security guards would call Brampton bylaw, and like firefighters to a 4-alarm blaze, the bylaw buzzards would whip over to the scene of the crime and issue hefty tickets. It was all about keeping people safe at the height of COVID, you see. But Patrick Brown is one of those political parasites who subscribes to the mantra of do as I say, not as I do. We were tipped off that Brown was playing shinny at the Earnscliffe Recreation Centre with his Barrie buddies. At first blush, we found this tip hard to believe. Surely even Patrick Brown isn't that entitled. But we paid a visit to the rink and, well, here's what transpired.
Well, folks, we're getting the bum's rush, but holy mackerel, I think I see Patrick Brown himself.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Mr. Brown, right? Yeah. David Menzies with Rebel News.
You're in a city facility?
What's that?
You're in a city facility?
Yeah, so are you.
Yeah.
So, are you playing hockey here? Or?
No, I'm just coming to check in our facility. So
Okay,
we're gonna check you. You're not supposed to be here, actually.
Okay. We were told that you play pickup here. Mr. Brown, how come the kids in Brampton can only practice sports, but your buddies can play hockey?
Yeah. So, I don't know why you are harassing people in the city of Brampton, but you shouldn't be.
Oh, who's harassing who? Your guy handed out 122 bylaw violations in 1 week. Mr. Brown, why is there a hockey game going on in this arena? I thought you're only allowed to practice sports, not play them. And who is paying the $1,000 a day, Mr. Brown, for this rink? Mr. Brown, are these taxpayer dollars being used for your buddies to play hockey on this rink? Or are you paying it? Or perhaps Waleed Solomon? So, Mr. Brown, why is it one law for me and one law for thee in this city? Mr. Brown?
Oh, yeah, he was there all right. He was there to inspect the facility. You know, if I had a job that entailed checking Freon levels and tinkering with the engine of a Zamboni, I would also wear a finely tailored suit from Harry Rosen as opposed to, haberdashery obtained from Mark's Work Warehouse. But Brown blatantly lied about his shinny shenanigans. He would also later lie with his pals in the mainstream media that I had misrepresented myself as a correspondent with Maple Leafs TV, an outlet that doesn't exist, by the way. And he wrapped it all up in a bow by stating that Rebel News is an Islamophobic organization. Gee, I'm sure that last allegation must come as a shock and a surprise to Raheel Raza, the chair of Rebel News. I mean, I don't think a Muslim would want to be part of an Islamic news organization after all. But here's the deal. If Patrick Brown is caught on tape lying about a little thing like sneaking off to a hockey arena to play a sport that was verboten to all the other citizens of his city, well then chances are he's going to lie about the big things too. That's really why the Progressive Conservative Party made Patrick walk the plank back in January 2018. It really had little to do with an alleged sex scandal and a whole lot more to do with the fact that Patrick Brown was destroying the party's brand thanks to his incessant lying. For example, he told social conservatives that if made leader of the PC party and elected premier, he would terminate the Liberals' radicalized sex education curriculum. And then, after becoming party leader, he tossed social conservatives under the bus by telling them, nope, the sex ed curriculum, it's just fine and dandy, thank you very much. Inexplicably, he then tossed fiscal conservatives under the bus when one of his first major policy announcements was his vow to bring in a provincial carbon tax for Ontario. That was baffling. Despite declines in recent years, Ontario is still a manufacturing province. A carbon tax would have been cancerous. So when allegations of a sex scandal emerged, the PC party had a very convenient excuse to stage a palace coup and rid themselves of someone who was less leader and more compulsive liar. But like Friday the 13th's Jason Voorhees, Patrick Brown is back from the grave. This shameless shyster has set his sights on becoming the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, ultimately hoping to emerge as our next Prime Minister. Holy horror movie indeed. Yet, what does Patrick Brown stand for? Since tossing his hat in the ring back in March, for the most part, he's been missing in action. Unlike the other 5 candidates who have been crisscrossing our great Dominion and holding rallies, Patrick Brown has had about as much of a public presence as the Invisible Man. Well, not quite. You see, Patrick Brown is less about public rallies and far more about backroom deals. And one of those deals that he cooked up recently is downright disturbing. As reported in the Globe and Mail, in private appeals to Tamil Canadians, Brown has promised to deliver an apology as Prime Minister for Canada's behavior during the Sri Lankan Civil War that ended in 2009. You know, I don't know what Canada was supposed to have done in a civil war half a world away. Maybe send in the snowbirds for a flyby. But Patrick has nevertheless offered to serve up a mea culpa on the behalf of all Canadians because he thinks that some Tamil Canadians will support him for this. Wow.
That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.